Of a legend.
The death of Olympic gold medalist Jeff Blatnick has hit so many of us so hard. A Niskayuna High School graduate, cancer survivor, motivational speaker, and up until his death, a volunteer wrestling coach at Burnt Hills-Ballston Lake. Jeff was a hero and inspiration to so many. Our sports director, Doug Sherman, joins us live in the newsroom with more now on Blatnick's passing. Doug?
Well, Jeff Blatnick was many things: a two-time cancer survivor, a two-time Olympian, an Olympic gold medalist, and one of the real titans of the sport of amateur wrestling, not just here in the capital region, but all around the country. In recent weeks, Blatnick had been suffering from chest pains. This morning, while going through a battery of tests at Ellis Hospital in Schenectady, he suffered a massive heart attack and died. Over the years, Blatnick cheated death on a number of occasions. As a child in 1967, he walked away from a small plane crash in Ballston Lake with only scratches and bruises. And then, after having been a state champion at Niskayuna and a two-time NCAA Division II national champ at Springfield College, Blatnick made the 1980 Olympic team, only to have the U.S. boycott the games in Moscow. Then came Hodgkin's disease, followed by radiation and surgery. With the cancer in remission, Blatnick won Olympic gold in Greco-Roman wrestling at the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics, where he was then chosen to carry the American flag at the closing ceremonies. Blatnick's roots remain strong here in the capital region. Making his home in Ballston Lake, he coached wrestling, played a key role in the growth of mixed martial arts, and was a highly successful motivational speaker. A National Wrestling Hall of Famer, Jeff Blatnick died this morning at the age of 55. He is survived by his wife and two teenage children. Now, I spent part of this afternoon with Jeff Blatnick's mentor of the past 40 years, Joe Benna. We will hear from the legendary high school wrestling coach coming up in sports. Brandon Lewis joins us live from Burnt Hills-Ballston Lake High School, where Blatnick himself served as a mentor to countless Spartans wrestlers as an assistant coach in recent years. Brandon?
Doug, and as you can imagine, this came as quite the shock here to the entire high school community. We just got through speaking with athletic director Bob McGuire. He tells us that he had just reappointed Blatnick to his position as assistant varsity coach to the wrestling team here. He says he knew Blatnick had some tests done recently which showed irregularities in his heart, but says he never expected this to happen when he went in to see the doctors today. Blatnick, obviously a well-known humanitarian throughout the entire community. Niskayuna actually renamed a park after him along River Road near the Knoll Laboratories. 6 years ago, Blatnick came here to the high school to McGuire and says he'd like to volunteer coach the wrestling team. McGuire tells us, how could he turn away an Olympian like Blatnick? He says that he made quite the impact on the students here, both on and off the mat.
You want your children to have a great role model, and Jeff was that person. He was extremely knowledgeable, just a kind person. He had a spirit behind him that it's like a magnet. He'd draw kids. When he was in the wrestling room, it was business.
And just this afternoon after school, the wrestling team held a special meeting to tell them about Blatnick's passing. Obviously, again, this is quite the shock to them. They say they do want to do something to honor him. They just haven't put the plans together just yet. We will have much more on this story coming up tonight on the CW10 News, or CW15 News at 10 and the CBS 6 News at 11. For now, we're live in Ballston Lake. Brandon Lewis, CBS 6 News. Greg.